I'm so glad to be here, Shannon, to be with you and to talk about the Native Hawaiian Chamber of Commerce. And we are starting something new, so tell our audience what we're doing.
First of all, a lot of people don't even know that we exist. And so we do. We're starting to do these recordings and, get the word out about our chamber and increase our community and engagement with our chamber.
As a chamber, what are we doing to pivot? You're the new president.
Becoming president of a chamber in the midst of a pandemic and global economic crisis has been quite an interesting experience. But I try to look for the positives and the opportunities in every situation. I think COVID-19 has been a catalyst for our organization in many ways. We're able to adapt, and we don't have to necessarily do things the same way just because that's the way that it's always been done.
You being the new president, aside from the chamber, what's your family life like?
My family life is quite crazy. I have 2-year-old twins, which at some point you went through the same thing because you also have twins, but definitely going through the terrible twos times two. So that's a little bit crazy right now. Work-wise, I'm a small business owner. I have a company called Holomua Consulting Group. We are a Native Hawaiian, women-owned small business. We provide consulting services exclusively to federal contractors in the areas of small business contracting and regulatory and legal compliance, which I know sounds horrifyingly boring. We work with our small business clients to help them take advantage of federal contracting opportunities.
Clue me in as to what type of businesses would benefit from your services.
The federal government really buys, kind of whatever. They contract for construction, they contract for services like IT services. So our clients really kind of are very diverse in what they do. Businesses that maybe have thought about going into federal contracting but don't really know where to start, those would be the kinds of companies that we're able to help with.
No wonder you're the president of the chamber now. And I'm so glad that you are. I mean, the collaboration that we've had, just the two of us, has been wonderful. You're a down-to-earth person, which I love that about you. And I mean, because you could be one that's like, you're successful. You could maybe be a little bit, but you're not. That's good. But anyway.
That's good to know. To your point, Tanya, there's so much diversity, in our chamber. We've been around for quite a while. We're not just for business owners, in fact, a lot of our members are business professionals, but, just kind of illustrating the diversity, Tanya, tell us a little bit more about what you do because you're, totally in a different industry.
Ooh, I like how you twisted that. Okay, now it's me. Okay, my turn. All right, so I am a real estate agent. I am a new real estate agent, and I'm not afraid to say it, but I've been in the real estate industry for over 10 years. Before real estate sales, I was doing managing of property, a private portfolio of rental investments. So, and I've been around real estate all my life, being that my family they own rental properties. They've small-time investors from my grandparents to my mother. That's really my passion, is real estate investing. But I joined the chamber because I found out about it just a year ago, and it said Native Hawaiian, and I am Native Hawaiian. So I said, hey, that's for me. I was a stay-at-home mom for 20 years, 5 children, and you alluded to it, I have twin boys. They're now 14. And so I did business from the home, like just from the home. And when I started my real estate career, I thought, wow, now I'm out more. I'm in the public more. You have to be. So the chamber has really afforded me that opportunity to just get out of my comfort zone, meet new people in different diversified industries, and get to know them on a personal level. And I've found that part of being a member of the chamber real valuable. I'm going to switch it over to you now and ask you, what are some of those creative ideas and things that you're seeing for the chamber?
To answer that question, I want to take a step back and talk a little bit about our chamber's history. And we were founded in 1974, originally called the Native Hawaiian Businessmen's Association. And the reason for that was because the name Native Hawaiian Chamber of Commerce had already been reserved. So it was a few years later when our founders were ultimately able to get the name Native Hawaiian Chamber of Commerce and change it officially. But there's a great video on our chamber's website that shows the founders and talks a lot more about, you know, what their thoughts were in coming together and forming this chamber. I think ultimately one of the goals was they wanted to see Native Hawaiians in business viewed on equal footing or viewed as equals and on the same level as other business leaders of other ethnicities at that time. One of the founders also talked about how he wanted Hawaiians to know that there's a chamber, a Native Hawaiian Chamber of Commerce that they could gravitate to for kokua, that they could have a place to come to that would help them grow and succeed in their careers and in their businesses. And I think all of that holds true today. We still have that in mind and want to continue on that path. In terms of what we have in store, a lot of the value that our chamber provides, as you mentioned, Tanya, is the connecting piece. And connections are important no matter, you know, what community, but particularly in our community, connections are important. And I think that we have seen that hold true throughout COVID-19. We want to continue to facilitate those connections. We are, you know, increasing our presence throughout social media. So look for us on Facebook, look for us on Instagram and Twitter. We're going to be creating Facebook groups for specific purposes to, again, increase engagement and the like. You know, we're also looking at creating new programs and adding new member benefits, provide value for our members.
So the Facebook group, every one of you out there has to join because, and you know, click the link below. Anyway, you got to join the Facebook group, people out there, to kind of test drive the chamber for yourself. And quick question, do they have to be Native Hawaiian to join?
That is an excellent question, and you do not need to be Native Hawaiian to join our chamber. We welcome everyone. We want to have diversity throughout our membership, but you know, ultimately we want to have a place where people can connect and identify with each other. But you know, recognizing diversity of thought, diversity of culture is certainly important. And so I do want to make clear that you do not need to be Native Hawaiian to join our chamber.
Do you know everyone on the board by name? Because our next discussion, we're going to hopefully bring those people on, right?
There are 17 board members.
Wow, I didn't know that.
On our executive board, or our officers, are myself, our first vice president, Timi Wailehua, second vice president, Sean Spencer, our secretary, Sydney Keli'ipuleole, and our treasurer, Napali Wood. And then the rest of the board is comprised of yourself, Napua Harbottle, Dr. Claire Hughes, Ron Jarrett, Robert Piper, David Sung, Jay Banata, Kanoi Jorvajoglu Cup Choi, and I'm probably leaving out a few.
Sorry guys if we missed you, or she missed you.
What are your thoughts on, you know, how we can add value for our members, speaking from the perspective of a member and not necessarily as a board member?
I think the most valuable thing we can do for our members is teach them all how to use social media. Right now, that's the big thing, and people are having a hard time.
From a personal observation, you know, those businesses that have, in my opinion, you know, seem to be doing okay weathering the storm are those that have really taken advantage of social media and are doing, you know, really innovative things. So yeah, that's a great point, and we are definitely moving in that direction. take time for yourself. I mean, that's a lot easier said than done. And I read an article recently that said, you know, running errands like grocery shopping or even taking a shower is not self-care. Self-care would be taking a long walk by yourself, or, you know, having lunch with a friend, which I know, you know, is going to be challenging right now, but taking time for yourself outside of the house and outside away from your family is important to recharge. And only in that way can you be the best mom, parent, and also, you know, business owner. So this was really fun, Tanya, and I hope all of you enjoyed it. And please tune in. We're going to be doing this every Friday at noon. And so definitely, you know, follow us on social media and join our Facebook group, because we hope to be putting out a lot of content and we really want to engage with all of you out there. So be on the lookout for more good stuff to come from the Native Hawaiian Chamber of Commerce.
People, we are done for today. I hope you enjoyed this first segment of what we hope to continue doing. And if you're on the board, we're coming for you. Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, aloha.
You know, the Native Hawaiian Chamber of Commerce, or I don't know.
Did I already stand up pull a hard bottle?